Ed Ogeron and his staff, and they continue rolling. We kind of wondered, post-national title, why things on the recruiting front had been a little slow. And we've talked to Shea Dixon and Billy Embody, a lot of the guys that cover recruiting, and they sort of explained it, even the national guys. It's like, well, you played into mid-January, and then you had the White House trip, and then all of the things that happened subsequently with the COVID-19 shutdown. After the February signing day, it just put LSU's calendar a bit behind. Needless to say, they have caught up. Today, 4-star running back out of Ohio, Corey Kiner, has committed to LSU. He did it at a ceremony with his parents on either side of him at a very safe distance. There were several reporters. But anyway, here was how the commitment sounded today.
I just want to announce that I'll be taking my talents to Louisiana State University.
So Corey Kiner is now committed. He's a 5'10", 205-pounder out of the state of Ohio. It was so interesting listening to his announcement today because he talked about how he's been an LSU fan since he was a little kid and grew up watching Spencer Ware.
It was huge, especially with Spencer Ware, him being from Cincinnati. I tried to look up as much about him leaving Cincinnati as I could, being an outsider in Louisiana.
I mean, he talked about in that video, in his commitment ceremony, talked about how if you go look at my YouTube watch list, it's all LSU football videos. It's been all LSU football videos forever since he was 10 years old. So he's been in love with LSU. Growing up in the Cincinnati area watching Spencer Ware and loving the Tigers. So you talk about brand and how much brand awareness matters. I mean, Spencer Ware last played for LSU 8 years ago. And a kid now who was 10 at that time grew up watching Spencer Ware, and that memory lingered. So you wonder how much influence 10 years, 15 from now might the Joe Burrow season have on LSU? Who knows what 10-year-old in Cincinnati or in LA or in DC was watching this LSU team that's the same, man, I always want to go play for the Tigers, and that becomes their thing. Specifically, though, with this commitment, I do think it's interesting that it's another out-of-state commitment for Ed Ogeron and the LSU Tigers. We've talked about that a ton. The only in-state commit right now for LSU in the class of 2021 is Peyton Todd, the punter out of West Monroe. Now, LSU is going to get their share of Louisiana commitments. There's no doubt. But they just have the luxury right now of being very selective. They can pick and choose and wait on the state kids that are going to want to be part of the LSU program while they cast a wide net to see if they can get some of the major national products. And that's what they're doing right now. I mean, you went into the Midwest and got Corey Kiner, who had offers from Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, all the big Midwestern programs. Also had interest from Southern Cal, Texas A&M, and he pulls the trigger on LSU. A couple of things, though, when you look at the future of the LSU running back position. This year, you've got Curry, Price, Emory, and Bradford. 3 sophomores and a freshman. Next year, you'd have, theoretically, Curry, Price, Emory, Bradford, and Kiner when you add him as well. The position looks absolutely stacked, but you have to prepare for the likelihood of departure for the NFL. You have to prepare for the likelihood of a transfer. You can't, especially at a position like running back, you can't just assume you're going to be stockpiled and everybody's going to stay for their full 4 years. So you recruit accordingly. You sign one every single year. And hopefully guys wait their turn and someone pops, just like Clyde Edwards-Helaire did this year. Just like after waiting his turn through injury and behind Fournette and Geis, you finally had Nick Brissett get his chance as a senior and became a 1,000-yard rusher in the SEC. And maybe Corey Kiner's the next guy, but you better go get one every single year. The other thing that stood out most when I thought about this commitment, I started thinking about out-of-state running backs at LSU. Because Louisiana traditionally has produced amazing talent on both sides of the line of scrimmage and at the skill positions. Louisiana always has running backs and receivers and cornerbacks and linemen. Always. We know the deficiency's been at quarterback, but we've talked about that a ton. And I started thinking today, when was the last time LSU had its leading rusher that wasn't from Louisiana? And the last time was Stephen Ridley in 2010. Stephen Ridley, who's from Mississippi, like right down the road, less than an hour from LSU's campus. Before that, it was Joe Adai in 2005, who was from Houston. Before Joe Adai in 2005, the last time there was a running back not from Louisiana that led LSU in rushing was 1993 when Jay Johnson led LSU out of Waco, Texas. Before Joe Adai in 2005, Stephen Ridley in 2010, the last time a running back not from Louisiana led LSU in rushing was 1993. My point is this. Number one, Louisiana's produced some awesome running backs. From Darius Geis and Leonard Fournette and Justin Vincent and Dominic Davis and Ali Broussard and LeBrandon Tofield and Kevin Faulk and Rondale Mealy, and you know the drill. The other part, if LSU is going to take a running back from outside of the state of Louisiana, you are good. You are a good player. If Kevin Faulk goes to Ohio to recruit Corey Kiner, you better believe they think that kid is going to be a stud. Top 10 in the country at his position. He's the number 61 overall prospect in the country in the 247 rankings. So you're talking about a guy that has a lot of talent and a lot of expectation when you're going to come down from Ohio. But LSU lands Corey Kiner, running back out of the Cincinnati area. He becomes the 10th commit for LSU in the class of 2021, the first running back. And Tigers keep stockpiling at the skill positions.